Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down when the drive-by.
And we're back with another episode of the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast with, of course, our new special guest, a host over on the Panda Wrestling Company, everyone's favorite wrestling newbie, Broll.
What's going on, Broll?
Oh, not much. Just living the dream. Getting a rare day off. So what better way to spend it than chatting some wrestling?
There you go. There you go. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Welcome, Broll, to Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, man. Welcome.
So
thank you for having me. Hope you get your money's worth.
Got it.
we're paying for you?
Yeah.
I showed up, right? I showed up.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, okay.
Hey, I told you earlier, man. I said we didn't discuss my fee.
Well, James Ellsworth says he wants $60 for a half hour. So, I mean, you know James Ellsworth.
I'm better.
You're better than him, and he knows.
And you know it.
Mr. No Chin.
So,
Sweet chin music.
Sweet
What?
chin music. So AEW was last night. That it was.
It was what it was.
So,
I mean, they were good
what's your takes on AEW last night, man?
Take from AEW last night. Wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show. It was what it was. There were some things I really liked. There wasn't really anything I disliked, but there was some things where it was like, that was kind of weird.
Right.
I mean, if you want, do you want to just run down the card real quick? Or, I mean, to me, the card was, in the words of Mr. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, mid. Nothing grabbed my attention last night. And
not even
even the Wardlow Joe match really didn't get me fired up. I was like, all right, how many times are we going to see these guys go?
Yeah, and not even the Shotzi Blackheart appearance was weird. That the way they did that was weird as hell. Made no sense. She just shows up there. What's he trying to prove? What's he trying to tell Ethan Page? What's he trying to tell Daniel Bryan? What's that all about?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that when they do that with him. It's not the first time they've done it. This one was at least a little better to where they didn't keep panning to him as much as they did that one time. In my opinion, that match, the Page Danielson match, was a better match than what was your main event.
Yeah.
I almost would have rather seen that main event than the other, but I don't know. It really was a good. I mean, it was a really good, solid match. I mean, Danielson he's something else. He is something else, man. Did you guys? Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I'm not the only one that saw this, but I think the announcers even kind of alluded to it as well. At one point, it looked like there was like a masked crewman that was like about to jump Danielson from behind. Did you guys see that, or is it just me?
It was by the cameraman, right?
Yeah.
It was a black half face mask almost.
Yeah,
I seen that. I was like,
but nothing happened with it.
No.
So
that was kind of weird. So I did notice that. Yes, for sure.
Because, like, I think Shivani even said, "Well, he better watch his back too."
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that was a good match. Danielson is always fire in the ring anyways. He doesn't have, I mean, he could make My Pillow look amazing. You know?
Yeah.
So
I think Danielson likes kicking off shows too, for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah, between Danielson and Moxley, those two guys, they're the two leaders in that locker room. I feel like they're the two that are able to put the younger guys over and help them. Even they'll put them over without actually putting them over.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
100%. Yep.
And I really would hope that that's why Tony Khan brought him in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the case. I mean, you saw it with Mox and Claudio with Top Flight.
Yep.
I mean, that was a heck of a match. Top Flight didn't win, but you after seeing that match, you now have far more respect for Top Flight.
Yeah, those guys, they can go for sure. For sure.
And I'm the wrestling fan who just realized about 3 weeks ago that Top Flight are brothers. I don't know why. I just never put them together.
Well,
but
it's okay. I mean, Darius has been hurt a lot, so I think you can be forgiven for that.
There you go. That Wardlow match. No, it was a Wardlow match with what's his name? Ethan. Was it Ethan? The Wardlow match where the guy cut his hair. Cut
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. Yeah. Okay. There you go. That was a decent match. Samoa Joe can still go. My problem with that match though is Wardlow should be pushed, and I wish they would push him harder. That guy's a beast. He needs to be in some matches with Cass or Mike or whatever that guy's name is on I know him as Big Cass. That'd be a good thing to put him into. But my favorite part of that match was the ending when Darby Allin showed up and tried to take Samoa Joe out with the skateboard. It's not very believable that Darby Allin could beat Joe, but I'd like to see him have another run at the TNT, the championship. I think he's a great champion for AEW. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I mean, but overall, I was not impressed with AEW's.
Well, I think eventually you will see Wardlow in a world title picture because it only makes sense that he would go and have a program with MJF now that MJF's they could have a good program, seeing their past.
Right.
And I think it's going to happen. When it's going to happen, I don't know, but it will happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can bet on that. To close the year, I mean, I feel like they've had to shuffle so many things around from what was planned. I mean, although I am getting tired of the best of 7 series, that match last night was really good. And really all the matches have been good. But the only problem is that everyone has known they were going 7 for a while now. And you're losing that unpredictability. I honestly almost would have at this point rather seen Death Trial pick up that win, and then it would have been like, what the crap? I mean, I'm still not convinced that you would think it's going to be the Elite, and like it's almost like hitting a reset button, but don't know. The one way I could see Death Triangle winning is if like Adam Cole got involved somehow, like if he was able to come back and cost the Elite the match. That's the only way I can see them losing.
That'd be awesome because I'm like you, Broll. I mean, Kenny Omega impressed the hell out of me last night. That boy, all his moves that he did, that he was fire last night for sure. That match was banger, of course. I am not a fan of the Elite winning that best of 7. I would love to see the Death Triangle win. They have to. I mean, I said it a couple weeks ago. How the hell do you give it to the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega after all that backstage bullshit that they got suspended for? Now they come back for the first thing they're doing is this Death Triangle in the match like that. I think they should give it to Penta and Phoenix and Pac. That's just my opinion. Thank you. Hey, Nightmare, Will, Gay, thank you guys for joining us on Twitch. Hit the follow button, guys. Love to have you guys follow us so you guys know. But thank you guys for all you guys on Twitch. Appreciate it.
I think it doesn't really matter who wins because when whoever is holding those belts at the end, the lights will go out and the House of Black will be there to absolutely destroy them.
Sir.
That's my opinion.
I agree. I completely agree. In my opinion, we shouldn't have even been touching this best of 7 thing, and House of Black should have jumped whoever won at Full Gear.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my opinion.
And that's why that topic right there, that how long 7 matches, it should have ended the first time. I was telling my brother, I'm probably get shit from this, but that's my problem with the Bray Wyatt thing. How long it's taking to finally get him in the damn ring. And we still don't know who all these other people are. And it's going to take months before that happens, it seems like. I just hate long, drawn-out storylines. It just takes forever, and I just think that's bad. It's bad.
And you're right. I am going to give you shit for that because before this, leading into this, we had discussed ad nauseum that AEW and WWE don't know how to do long-term storytelling right now. But what they're doing with Bray Wyatt is in fact a long-term storyline. It is not. We're so focused on what have you done for me right now, and not letting things build up. This is probably the slowest buildup of a character that we've seen in ages.
It's getting boring. Is all I'm saying.
But the thing is, they did it with Kane. When they brought Kane in, he didn't just jump into the ring right away. It took him weeks and weeks and months to build up to his WrestleMania moment where he had that match with Taker. Essentially, this is what they're doing, but on a smaller scale.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and we're so trained for it to move so quickly. Which, I mean, we're going to get into that a little bit, honestly, when we start talking about the awards and stuff. When you start to reflect on this year, man, what a year it has been for wrestling. But we are trained so for everything to move so quickly. And I'm kind of in the middle. Yeah, it is frustrating because you're like basically begging for him to be in that ring and to have his first match, and because that's when it becomes like really real, when he has that first match. It's like, oh crap, he's back, let's go, like Roman Reigns, whoever, you better watch out. But yeah, but it's so different that you're paying attention to it.
You're right. No,
it makes you feel one way or the other.
Right. I'm not saying I'm against long storylines. I just want it to move quicker. You know what I'm saying? Quicker. But no, Nightmare. These are not Google Doc information. It's not hidden secrets.
These awards that we will be talking about here in a little bit are not sponsored by Google.
No. They're casual as.
You will not find them on Google Docs.
Nope. Don't even
Although, if I don't say so myself, we have the TikTok breakout TikTok star of the year right in our chat today,
Right.
Mr. Broll.
There you go. And that's why everybody's here to see him. They're not here to see me or Matt. They're here to see
They're
you.
not here to see me.
No.
They're not here to see me. They're here to see Mr. B-roll.
No, they don't care about the HP either, so they're here to see the B-roll.
I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
So, you guys ready?
We got 5 people. We got 5 people on Twitch. I'm pretty sure that's our high for the now.
That's my point. They're not here to see us. They're here to see them.
Is there anything we missed from Dynamite?
God.
Oh, there was a female tag match.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh yes. Ruby Soho. Can't forget my girl, but
yeah,
whatever. I mean,
all right.
But I mean, the fact that we forgot it. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. And it's no disrespect to any of them.
I'm a Ruby Soho girl guy. I mean, I got this. My niece.
That is dope.
My niece drew this for me, and I met Ruby Soho at Pensacon last year.
Like, I would seriously want one of those.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's billed from Lafayette, Indiana.
Right.
So we don't have many of wrestlers. So we gotta support who we got. So.
And I asked her that day, back in February 2022. I asked her. I said, "So when are you going to get your championship push?" And she said, "Just be patient. Be patient. It's coming." Yep. So.
I think she needs a TBS run at some point. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's the one to dethrone Jade, because I don't know. I think you could do it if it was done right, but
that's why I'm really, really, really hoping. She's the reason why I'm really hoping that Mercedes stays away from AEW, because she's too big of a name to get buried. And I feel like she would get buried because she's not part of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she would end up getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Instead of being shown for what she is.
Yeah. And she did have bad luck with the injury.
Yeah.
She did have bad luck with that. But yeah, I mean, now with the whole Mercedes thing, since you went there, here's my theory. I 100% believe that she is the mystery partner for Saraya. I believe that. But here's what I also believe. I don't believe she's all elite. I think they're going to have some matches agreement, or maybe they do book her as all elite, but she's not going to be on your TV every week. I'm calling it now.
Is it a kind of a Brock Lesnar type schedule? Like, you let her come and go as she pleases and picks her spots? Or, I mean,
I think that's what will happen.
Awesome. But
that's what I think. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong.
I mean, it makes sense because she is doing. I mean, she was in Star Wars for a while, right? I mean, she is an actress. She does have other things going on, so I mean, it's very well possible.
I think the idea of the freedom is very tempting to her. She can go over to New Japan. She can do this. She can do that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It would almost be like another CM Punk type thing.
It would. We all saw how that turned out.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with Nightmare. He said that Soho is booked worse than AEW than she was in her when she was in the WWE, and I totally 100% agree with that.
And I agree with Nightmare as well, because I do have it pulled up here, and so I can see the chat. Chris Statler taking the TBS champion when she gets back. I'm totally okay with that. Or I could even see Statlander getting in the world title picture.
Yeah.
Yes, I said it. I said it.
So,
there you go.
I mean, really, that was the show, really. I mean, they're, like you said, for a end of the year wrap up before they switch to a whole new look, it was kind of a fizzle out kind of show, kind of a dud.
Yeah.
And it was kind of disappointing because I was really excited to watch it. When I got up this morning, I was watching it, and I was like, okay, what comes next? And like,
you watched it this morning too?
Yeah. I was like,
I think we all did.
Like, I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't catch it live.
I was busy watching Cody Kayfabe on a Twitch channel last night with all those boys from TikTok. So
Cody Cornette.
That's a plug, Cody. If you're out there, that's a plug. So plug us when you get a chance, man.
It's a plug. Maybe a cheap plug, but it's still a plug nonetheless.
It's a plug nonetheless.
Nonetheless, Wrestling Awards.
So before we get started on that, we do have a fourth member to the panel. If he can pull himself away from his tablet for a few minutes to do this.
The HP
Andrew.
Awards. What's the next show you going to, man? B-roll.
Next show. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know because they only come their AEW is going to Lexington, Kentucky in January.
All right.
I have thought about going to it. It would be a bit of a haul. I tell you, if Nightmare's still in the chat, if he was going, I would be more tempted to go.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I think you need to have Panda pick you up on the way to the Rumble.
Yeah. He's flying.
He's flying.
We've already talked about this. He said he would. He said, what did he say? He would lower the extremely long rope ladder down for me or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a show. There's a Road to WrestleMania show here in Pensacola on February. So what I'm going to go to.
We are going to be at the Raw, not 2 days after, but it's a week after the Elimination Chamber in February. So it'll be the first Raw on the road to WrestleMania. So
ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So our not TikTok awards, we aren't Google Docs. I keep forgetting that. Our Huge Pop Wrestling podcast, we do this we did this last year. We're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna start off with theme/entrance of the year. And I have 3, and I ranked them 2, 3, 3 being, the least of my 3, and then we can go from there. But my number 3, I'm a really simple guy when it comes to entrances and themes. And Jon Moxley, his entrance and theme is my number 3.
I respect it.
Yeah, I like that. I love his crowd interaction the best. So in his entrance, so it's pretty good.
Now, okay, can we pause real quick right there? Though you said crowd interaction. Did anybody see the sign? I saw this in a screenshot. Somebody held up a sign and it said, "My wife thinks I'm at Bible study." This was last night.
That's amazing.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
I'll send it to you guys.
Please do. That's great.
So, did everyone do 3 or?
I did 3. I did 3.
I didn't do 3, but like I said, in some categories, I think I told Matt, I was like, I'm gonna have honorable mentions. So yeah.
But yeah, Moxley was my number 3.
I had Edge's number 3. I love Edge's theme, the song, the way it comes out. It's fire and it's good. That was my 3.
My number 3 is Cody Rhodes.
Fair.
Okay.
Respect
And
it.
Yeah, I
B-roll?
respect that.
B-roll. Well, okay. So you put me on the hot seat. Here, because I picked one. So I'm just going to give a disclaimer of that mine are in no particular order. How about that?
Great.
Okay. That's fair.
Because I'll be all over the board. I'll be all over the board here. I'm going to go with Imperium's entrance.
Okay.
It is
I like
dope.
that. Yeah, I respect that. Yep.
I got to see it live once, and it is dope.
Nice.
My number 2, Bray Wyatt. That new entrance of his is just insane. I mean, when it first happened at Survivor Series, I popped. Like, boom. Like,
Something Cody.
I just thought it was kind of awesome.
Love it. Nightmares out down here going something Cody Rhodes.
Something,
right.
something, Cody Rhodes.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
MJF, Better Than You. That song's fire. That entrance is good. I like his entrance. That's number 2.
My number 2, this is a faction. Is my my number 2 is a faction. It's the Elite, especially when they returned this year.
Yes.
He's talking about Wayward Son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a pretty dope entrance, and like with the silhouette of them too. Yeah, it's like it's pretty dope.
I love that a 10-year-old likes that song. You know, that's an 80s song. I love that.
You got to remember, he's the one that during football season will rock out to Ozzy Osbourne.
There you go.
So
there
I
you
mean,
go. There you go, my boy. Good job, Andrew. Good job.
Are we back to me now?
Did I bet you? Yes.
Number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, gosh. Honestly, when you guys started mentioning 3, I quickly came up with 2 more. But not to be a copycat, but I do have to say Bray's entrance because it is phenomenal. It's a spectacle. And I'm saving my number 1. I'm saving for what I actually did write down as my answer. It's probably going to surprise you guys a little bit.
Yeah, that new Bray Wyatt theme is really good.
My number 1 is Cody Rhodes. It's when he came out at WrestleMania. I mean, we all kind of knew that it was going to happen. Or at least we were hoping it was going to be Cody. But I popped. Again, it's just very few things got me out of my seat this year, and that was one of them. And just hearing that song was enough for me to be like, wrestling is back. Thank goodness for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, you were sitting there literally like you heard wrestling has more than one.
Yes.
You were like,
Andrew?
Number 1.
My number 1, I feel like people have to know that this is coming. Seth Rollins.
He loves himself. Yeah.
The whole thing, because when we were at that holiday tour, it was just so electric when he would come out.
Even in a small venue, the place blew up. It was great.
yeah.
I had a toss up because I love Finn Balor's entrance, but nothing pops bigger than, and it's me. I crank the TV when it happens. The stadium goes nuts when it does, and it's got to be Chris Jericho. That place I haven't seen something like that in a while. You know, you just go and everybody knows the song. They're singing it, and it's as much as I give shit about Chris Jericho and seeing him, and that song is just electrifying to me.
Wait, and how much Chris Jericho is the GOAT?
Yeah, no.
I'm never going to be allowed on this show again, am I?
I'm not. No, wait. I'm not saying he's not. He's not the GOAT, but what I say, Matt and I have this conversation all the time. I think he needs to stay where he's at because if young talent, does not look up to him and reach out to him for advice, they're stupid. Because that guy is a brain. He's been around everything when it comes to wrestling. So,
and he used to look like an air fryer.
Yeah.
yes. Now he looks like a $5 divorce for. I don't know what.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the favorite lines.
I'm telling you, if done right, that Action Andretti kid is gonna be a star if he gets in a program with Chris Jericho. All right.
The first thing that while we're on Action Andretti, the first thing that popped in my head when he beat Jericho was 1, 2, 3 Kid and Razor Ramon.
Yes.
That was the first thing I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Number one, man.
Number one.
This is what I actually wrote down. I just love this entrance. The crowd pops pretty hard for it. Judas is another good one. Let me do just a little bit of story time. I'm not picking Judas. Let me just do just a little bit of story time about Judas. Coming full circle. So go to my first pro wrestling live event. Wasn't even a fan yet. Just got drugged there by XLJ the OG. I'm in this arena and everyone's singing this song. And I know none of the words to it. But, I'm feeling the energy and, I'm digging it. Fast forward to when we go to Forbidden Door in June. I know every single word of the song and we're like rocking out. So it was just like, that was kind of a cool moment. All right. But to my number one, I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy's new theme. I love his new theme.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking the other day, Andrew and I, about Orange Cassidy has a great theme, and so does the Best Friends.
Yeah.
The Best Friends have a banger of a song as their entrance theme.
Good job. Good choice.
So we'll go on to since we'll let Mr. B-Roll start this one off. Since he's the breakout TikToker of the year, we'll go breakout male wrestler of the year.
Breakout male wrestler of the year. Are we giving more than one for this?
No, let's just
We can go three. We can go three.
Okay.
Well, I only have one.
Okay.
If we all just get what you have.
You only have one.
I feel like this is kind of a cheat code, but actually, I'll give you two. I'll give you two in one take. Okay. I'll give you two. My first one is probably going to be obvious. Ricky Starks.
Okay.
My second one, I'm going to say, is Speedball Mike Bailey.
I'm going to be a Mark, a green guy, and I'm going to say, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to be real. I'm not.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you guys one match to watch. It's going to take an hour of your life, but I promise you, you're not going to regret it.
Okay.
Go to Impact's YouTube.
Okay.
They have a commercial-free, 60-minute match between him and Josh Alexander. It is a banger.
Okay.
It is a banger. It is a banger. It should be match of the year, but it's probably not going to be match of the year because it happened in Impact.
Gotcha.
Speedball, Mike Bailey.
Okay.
He's going to be something. He was X Division champion at one point this year. Had a world title shot against Josh Alexander. Check him out. I don't think you'll regret it.
All right, Speedball, I got it, man. Send me a text. Can you send me a message remind me of that name?
Yep.
Thanks, man.
So,
all right, you can go.
Number three for me, and it was one of those things where I fought with myself because I don't feel like he's a breakout wrestler year. But he finally had a breakthrough moment, and it's Sami Zayn. I put Sami Zayn at 3, because he kind of got lost in the shuffle there for a while when he was doing his whole conspiracy theory. He had a match with fucking, pardon my language, freaking Johnny Knoxville at Mania. I mean, it was just not a. He was being like slanted towards an R-Truth style of personality.
Mm-hmm.
You throw him in the program with the bloodline, and he turns and he skyrocketed, and it was like jet fuel. Like I just felt like Sami Zayn was one of the top 3 breakout performers of the year.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, I considered, putting him down as well. So I feel like, yeah, he fits the criteria for that. And I didn't even make up the category. So, but I'll say he fits the criteria.
Yeah. Number 3 for Drew.
This might shock you, but after I watched the AEW match between, I think they're called the Death Triangle, Penta, Ray, and Pac. Yeah, the Death Triangle versus the Young Bucks in that no DQ match. Ray Phoenix is my number 3. He's been amazing this year. That rivalry with the Young Bucks and them.
Okay.
I mean, I would definitely agree. They were tag team champs at one point this year. He did get hurt there for a while. So could have even been maybe even a better year for him, but he did come back, and it was a good comeback as well.
I'm just gonna give you I only have 2. Well, 2. I have 2.5, I guess. Ricky Starks, whoever said that, I thought of him when I was doing this. But I thought the Acclaimed. I liked when they first came out, and I think it's getting. In my opinion, it's a dumb gimmick now. This is me, Daddy. I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. Sorry.
You roll. Do it.
Sorry.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm just not a fan. Just not a fan.
Dad.
But this is gonna shock the hell out of you guys because I was a hater for a long time. This guy, but I seen him in action. I was in like the second row when this guy came, and
Nightmare throwing the scissors up in the chat.
That's right.
I just think that's a dumb gimmick. It's just ridiculous.
Anyways. Oh, scissor me, daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, scissor me, daddy.
They just should have just kept rapping instead of bringing out the fucking scissor me, daddy shit. Just saying.
Hey, I was there when that chant was created.
You weren't there.
You weren't there. Anyways,
yeah, I was.
I got to see.
No.
I was at All Out.
Oh, well, what's his name? Bruce Pritchard. I was there. Were you there?
I got to see this guy in action, and I didn't have any good things to say about him. Ask Matt, he'll tell you. But when I seen him in action with the crowd, everything he did, everything he's still doing now, I had to give it to Sami Zayn. It'd been my pick because this guy was phenomenal interacting with the crowd. It was unbelievable.
You're not wrong.
My top 2, my 2 and 3 or 2 and 1. Number 2 is Ricky Starks. We all know the guy's gonna be the next big thing. Just give him time. Give him more. Give him another year, and he will be back in that title picture. He's tremendous on the mic. He's got great mic skills. He has tremendous in the ring too. Great athlete. And my number 1, it kills me to say this because I hated his first gimmick, but it's Austin Theory. Austin Theory is my number 1. Is my breakout star of the year. Once he dropped that selfie bullshit that he was doing,
right?
that he was over.
He's a badass now. I gotta say.
Yeah. His program he's having right now with Seth Rollins, awesome.
Yep.
They had a banger of a match when we saw him in Saginaw. Tremendous.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, because he is a bad man.
And
there you go.
2 and 3 for Andrew.
You basically just said it for me.
Yeah, we kind of have
Starks and Austin Theory.
Yeah, we have the same.
Great minds, think alike,
What's next?
The breakout female of the year. I have 3 again.
Overachiever.
My number 3 is Roxanne Perez. That's breakout female. I have Roxanne Perez. Rhea Ripley as 2. Those are my top. Those are my bottom 2.
Andrew?
My bottom 2 rivals used to be 2 women, of course. Dakota Kai, number 3, and number 2, Alexa Bliss.
That's breakout star, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dakota's really came up to the main roster and really has been doing really good this year.
Rhea.
I guess I can see what you're saying about Alexa Bliss, because she kind of got, again, like Sami Zayn, lost in the shuffle, and then brought herself back up.
I like Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan would be my top 2. I only have 2. I think Liv Morgan, what she's doing now, how she came, how she was. I thought she was lost in the shuffle myself, and then she's just doing amazing things. And as much as I hate the Judgment Day, I love Rhea Ripley. So
now to counter, because this is who I am, B-roll. I have to be the asshole to this guy here.
Remember,
Liv Morgan, in my opinion, shouldn't be in the discussion of any of the. She was in the right place at the right time, in my opinion. I don't think she was head and shoulders above everyone else. I think she was about even keeled. She didn't stand out to me.
It all depends how much you watch, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I mean,
my number 1 was Mandy Rose because she carried NXT for the whole year.
Yes.
She got buried in WWE. She got buried on the main roster. She went down to NXT, reinvented herself, and carried the brand for well over a year. If that's not a breakout star, I don't know what is.
And now she's making more money than all of us.
Yeah. By showing her boobs.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Huh?
I'll keep my mouth shut about that. I think she got wrong. She got rightly fired because she can't keep her, can't follow your contract. So sign a contract.
I'm not saying anything about her getting fired. What she got fired for was absolutely correct, because she was using her ring name, her WWE name, on that OnlyFans or whatever it was. Yeah. By all means, yes. Probably should have gotten fired a while back.
That's why I would argue, if she's your number 1 breakout star, she's a breakout star and she's not representing WWE correctly. So that would be why that's why I would leave her off the list.
All right.
But you're right, though.
Go ahead, B-roll.
We will get, because I almost put her down too, but I have 2 for this one. One I kind of thought of more recently, actually. I'll give you one from AEW and I'll give you one from WWE. The first one I thought of when I thought of this category was Roxanne Perez.
Okay.
From the moment So I heard her do an interview on Busted Open. It's like before I even seen her in ring, like I was sold. And then I saw like her in ring and I was like, she's like whole package. Real deal. Yeah, I mean, definitely I feel breakout star for AEW. It feels bad saying this because they are the current world champion, but if you're talking about a breakout star, Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth, at All Out, people were cheering harder for her than they were Tony Storm or Britt.
I believe it.
That Chicago crowd wanted Hayter to win that match.
Well, you kind of stole mine. Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right to agree on these, man. Like,
She has really bad. Like it feels almost like she put Britt Baker aside for a tiny bit, and she wins the championship.
And she should put Breaker aside. I'm ready for that feud.
Yes, amazing matches would be done right there.
so we have tag team of the year. Number 3 for me is the Acclaimed. That's number 3 for me is the Acclaimed. And then 2 for me is the Usos. And 1 is FTR. The greatest tag team in the world today.
Okay, we had the same tag teams, but in different orders. The Acclaimed number 3, FTR number 2, and Usos number 1. I'm more of a WWE guy. That's why I didn't put FTR up like at 1 because I don't really watch them a lot. I don't watch FTR. I mostly watch like WWE, and that's in and they're in AEW.
Yeah, Andrew doesn't watch a lot of AEW. He's more of a WWE person, which, is fine. So
there's so much wrestling out there. I mean, everyone has their own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's endless. You can watch wrestling 7 days, a live wrestling show 7 days a week if you want to.
Yeah. All right, Scotty doesn't know wrestling. What's going on? What's
my opinion?
That popped me. Sorry.
My opinion doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't matter, obviously. But I'd put the Usos 3rd. Because the best tag team match of the year is with the top 2, and I would not put anybody over these 2. The double dog collar match with the Briscoes and FTR. Those are my favorite top 2 tag teams. I can't say one over the other because those guys can all go. So there's that.
All right. I mean, the Briscoes are definitely a top tier. They are one of those tag teams that deserve to be in that conversation with best tag team in the world.
That was a banger match. That dog collar match. I've seen a dog collar match live, and I watched that. That shit's nasty good.
Which dog collar match did you see live? I'm curious.
There's a indie wrestling show down here called Extreme Impact Wrestling, and they did a dog collar match for a championship. So that was good.
I was just curious because you live in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Not to give out your location or anything. I mean, Florida's a big enough state. I think you're good.
The Panhandle. So there you go.
I wondered if you had went to the Brody Lee Cody match, dog collar match.
Oh, that was good too.
Yeah. I'm actually going to follow suit, like identical to Scott here. FTR 1A, Briscoes 1B. I always say the Briscoes are my favorite tag team, but I consider FTR to be currently the greatest tag team that's going right now.
Right.
The Briscoes, like, so cool. Like, I'm when that first match happened at Supercard of Honor, like, I was still such a new fan, and I did not know and was not prepared for what I was about to witness. But I actually have, if I have like a better way to show it, I have a poster up here, and it's like a drawn like comic book thing that an artist does. He goes to a lot of like Comic Cons and conventions, but it kind of highlights that match, and I love it dearly because it has the Briscoes versus FTR, but it's done like drawn like a comic book cover.
Well, that's cool.
So.
Cool.
All right, Andrew. What did you get?
I already did.
Oh yeah. So debut
Okay,
of the year. Debut of the year. We'll let Andrew go with this one. Or do you want to circle back?
Number 3. Now, I know you and me have the same one for number 3, I believe.
At number 3, I put Ava Ray. When she made her debut on NXT. I mean, it didn't pop, but it was a holy shit moment. Like, everyone knew that it was The Rock's daughter, but it was the female equivalent of Solo Sikoa joining a faction like Schism. And to me, that was huge for number 3 for me.
My number 3 is CM Punk for the debut in AEW this year.
Yep.
Wasn't it this year?
Yeah. It was earlier this year, right? Yeah. When Punk debuted?
Yes.
Yeah. My number... Okay, go ahead.
Ooh.
Anybody.
Oh.
That was 3. That was number 3 for me.
My number 3 would be Punk. I popped like I'm a Punk guy. I've always been a Punk guy, so that'll save that conversation for a long time later. But Punk, CM Punk. Hero.
Number 3.
Yep.
Let me think here because I know what my number 3 is gonna surprise you a bit. I'll say Saraya appearing in AEW.
Yeah, that was huge.
Because it was a surprise. It was a genuine surprise.
Yep.
And that's hard to pull off nowadays.
My number 2 was Punk. I put Punk at 2 because even though we all knew it was going to happen in Chicago, just to hear Cult of Personality and everything, it was... Oh, then I guess we're wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, it's actually not the 21st, it's the 20th.
So
Scotty and Matt don't know wrestling, I guess.
And me.
And you. Oh,
I wasn't going to say anything.
Hey, we're newbies. We're rookies.
I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was this year.
Well, here's the thing. Like when the PWI does it, they like go from like October to October.
Right.
So, I mean, I
only have 2.
I just thought maybe I missed something.
Well, my CM Punk, then I'll just turn it into Saraya.
Well, yeah, my number 1 would be Saraya. Then, yeah.
My number 2 debut is Johnny frickin' Wrestling. Johnny Gargano.
It was a good one. It was another good surprise.
Yeah.
No one knew.
But the way they did that one was kind of weird because it was right out of a commercial break and then his music hits. It's like, okay.
Well, I believe his music hit, and then he got into the ring with a mic. Then it went break, and then he talked after the break.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it was just kind of a weird, way they did it, though.
I went with Solo Sikoa at Clash at the Castle. That was big for me, debut. And then but the huge for me was Damage Control when they showed up at SummerSlam. That was, I got up. That was like, holy shit. And so yeah.
Yeah.
That was my top.
Maybe I'm cheating and loosely using the term debut. I'm just going to give it number one. Well, because we have two different. We had debut of the year and then we had return of the year. So mine kind of is going to fall. They're both actually technically returns, but this was a re-debut. And he debuted with a completely different gimmick than what he had before in the company. Cody Rhodes WrestleMania.
Yeah, because it's American Nightmare. He debuts it on WWE.
Now, we'll fast forward to the return of the year. He's my number one. But
same. He's my number one return of the year.
I still have one left of my debut real quick, though.
He's got a debut.
Mine is Solo.
Yeah, so. So then we'll jump into the faction of the year. My number 3 is Blackpool Combat Club at number 3. They did tremendous things all year long. Like they engage, like the storyline with Bryan Danielson and Moxley that kind of took us to the formation of Blackpool Combat Club to what it is now with Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Just that faction are four guys that can get in the ring and go blows with anybody in the business, any singles competitor in the business. Moxley versus Reigns would be John Moxley in the AEW character against Roman Reigns, as the tribal chief. I would just tear the house down. Unfortunately, we'll never see that. But
never say never.
My number 3 is the Young Bucks, which count the Elite. And it's kind of, I was leaning either it was going to be the Death Triangle or the Elite. Both of them are both evenly matched.
My number 3 would be Damage Control.
Damage Control.
Yep.
I see it. Again, this is where I could be the asshole. Okay.
It's a faction. Can't say it's not.
I'm not saying they're not a faction.
And it's not Bailey's fault that they're not doing anything with her.
I'm just saying. I
know where you're gonna go.
What I'm about to say, B-roll, is that they weren't booked properly. They're not a dominant faction. They have not been booked in a dominant fashion. To me, if I'm looking at faction of the year, if they're not dominant, or if they didn't do anything that elevates them, then, if, in my opinion, if you're talking Damage Control at in the top 3, then Toxic Attraction should be right next to them, because they held the NXT tag team, NXT women's titles, all 3 of them. They were the female version of the Bloodline. They were dominant. Damage Control really hasn't been dominant. But again, it is poor booking, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see what you're saying there. I'm only gonna have one for this. Honestly, I feel like everyone's number one should be the same. If you look at the whole year, whether you like them or not, Bloodline. I mean,
acknowledge me.
They were the most dominant faction for the whole year of 2022. I think the Blackpool Combat Club was heading that way, and then it kind of got off the rails at the end of the year here.
I mean, Matt will love my number one, because Usos the Bloodline will be number 2. I guess my favorite faction would be the House of Black. Again, they're probably irrelevant too, but bad looking.
Well, I already said that they should be in the conversation for.
But House of Black would be my number 1.
Yeah, I do love House of Black, but
I'm going Judgment Day at 2 and Bloodline 1. I mean,
and I think how well Judgment Day has worked with the Rhea and Dom thing is part of the reason for the poor booking of Damage Control.
Yeah.
Because the Damage Control was like, oh, we run Monday Night Raw. And the next thing you know, it kind of became like, well, no, kind of Judgment Day. And then also you have the Bloodline popping up on both because of them being double champs.
I just think when I think of Judgment Day, I mean, they're good and I like them, but it's more of a Rhea Ripley Dom show than it is a Finn Balor, Damian Priest show. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it's over.
Andrew's sitting over here getting pissed because I'm stealing all of his.
Everything. It's almost like he watched me do it.
Well, providing the fact that he kept grabbing my list earlier.
Yeah, I think we're on phone. I think when we were talking this morning, you kept on saying, Andrew, do it yourself.
Heel Uncle Scott coming out. You're like, get the hell out.
I'm just saying that's what I heard on the phone.
So. No, he would come up to me when I'm talking to Scott this morning, and I go just running down like certain what we got and everything, and he would come and grab my paper and like look at like what's the next one, and then now all of a sudden we have the same answers.
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
What's up next? I gotta get time's going.
The return of the year.
We did that, didn't we?
No, we did debut. But my 3 returns are Bray 3, MJF 2, because he did technically return to AEW, and Cody at 1. I mean, I gotta go with my boy Cody.
I don't need to talk because that was mine before
no.
last night.
No.
Like yesterday. Before it was like midnight.
I got your back, Andrew. I know he copied off of your list secretly.
Oh, okay.
He found the Google Doc.
Oh, I'll talk to you later, B-roll.
You can't kick me out of here. This is my stream. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not.
God damn it!
Mine was
Someone
Cody
mute his
Rhodes.
mic.
Mine was Cody
Cody
Rhodes at
Rhodes.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. My return of the year. So, like, I picked Cody for the debut or re-debut or whatever, and my return was Bray. I mean, 1A, 1B in that fashion.
Well, since he copied off of me, we're done talking about that. But male wrestler of the year. I have two for number 3. I have MJF and Mox sharing number 3. Rollins at 2 because honestly, he's carried Monday Night Raw for a bulk of 2023 or 2022. He is Seth freaking Rollins. He is the Monday night, he is the show. And number 1 for all of wrestling is Roman Reigns. I mean, he has made WWE. He has kept WWE afloat
When he's there.
Is there?
when he's there, yes. But
mine are the Shield basically. Number 3, Seth Rollins. Number 2, Moxley. Number 1, Roman.
There you go.
But while I am talking, I have two ones that I was looking, like I was just scrolling through some good ideas for some of like the male wrestler of the year, female wrestler, and I found some good new categories that we would add in next year, like promo artist of the year. I think would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Best pay-per-view of the year.
Yep.
we did do that last year, and I totally forgot to throw that on there. But
And the storyline of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
what I'm hearing is maybe there just has to be a part 2 at some point.
Maybe our first show of 2023, we can throw out the best pay-per-view of 2022, the best promo of 2022, and what's the other one, Andrew?
The best storyline, but
Storyline. There we go.
maybe the best rookie of 2022.
Oh, best rookie too.
Something to look forward to, Matt.
Okay, so Scotty,
Yes, sir.
what's your top 3?
I'm kind of gonna go with. I'm gonna steal Andrew's line. The Shield Award. I'm gonna call the male wrestler of the year the Shield. But I'm gonna go boost with Roman Reigns is number 3. Simply because he's not a part-timer, but he's not always there. I'm going to say Moxley is number 2 because he's carrying, in my opinion, AEW. He's probably one of the best things AEW has going. And Matt's going to give me shit because I talk about this guy not liking this guy at all. And again, it's not, I don't like the programming. I don't like there's a lot about Seth Rollins I don't like. But if I think about what he has done for WWE and what he's doing continuously, he could wrestle a vacuum cleaner, and the vacuum cleaner would look good. You know what I'm saying? This guy can go. I think you like to talk about the Royal Rumble versus Roman Reigns, the Backlash with Cody Rhodes, Elimination Chamber with Matt Riddle. Man. That guy, wherever he's at, can go. So I put him as number 1. And yes, I said that, Matt. Seth frickin' Rollins. As much as it kills me to say that name, Seth frickin' Rollins is wrestler of the year.
Your nephew walked off. He's like,
Dude,
He's had enough.
If the one, and I acknowledge the one, if the one would show up more than doing a promo at the end of the damn night,
he's just sitting over there going, "Oh, you gonna cry about it, Uncle Scott?"
I think Roman Reigns is great, but he doesn't deserve Wrestler of the Year because, dude, you got to show up. That'd be like giving Brock Lesnar the Wrestler of the Year. He doesn't show up except for pay-per-views.
All right, so
There you go.
we'll kick it to B-roll.
I'm just saying.
All right, so I will go. So I am so close to having the Shield, but I don't quite have it. And honestly, I can't. I'm not going to rank these, so I'm just going to name my three. And actually, literally, this one I did have three down, and I was going to try to narrow it down to one. But I am going with. I will go Seth freaking Rollins, John Moxley, and MJF.
Roman Reigns didn't even make the list. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm B rolls out. Andrew B rolls says bye bye. I'm done, and he walked off set. He's done.
I mean, I'm a MJF hater. Ask Matt. I'm a big hater of MJF, but the boy can go and he can talk, and he shows up every week, whether it's in the press box or not. He's there.
He was involved in every major storyline almost this year.
It's an opinion,
AEW.
Andrew. It's an opinion.
Don't worry, Andrew. Uncle Scott has horrible opinions too.
Yeah, I mean, and like one of the things when we got to this guy right here was well on his way to being Wrestler of the Year.
No.
Don't get me. Leave that alone.
Hold on. No. When we get to never mind. Our last, we have two more categories. We have match of the year.
We gotta go. We gotta get going, man.
My three are Brock, Roman, last man standing at 3. 2 is FTR, Briscoe's 2 out of 3 falls match. And Hell in a Cell, Cody versus Seth is my number 1. That is my match of the year. Like, that's the one where, I mean, he took his jacket off. You saw the injury. It was just one, in my opinion, one of the best matches of the year. If not, it was my favorite match of the year.
We agree on something, Matt.
Category.
Oh, we skipped over female wrestler of the year. I'm sorry.
Well, let's keep on going with match of the year, and then we'll go to female.
Okay.
My match of the year at Clash of the Castle number 3 is Sheamus versus Gunther. Number 2 is Brock versus Roman at SummerSlam this year, and my number 1 is FTR versus the Briscoes dog collar match.
That was Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell.
Doesn't matter what you think.
Don't give a damn what the tribal chief has to say.
All right.
I can only imagine what's coming my way since the tribal chief didn't even make my list.
Yeah. He didn't make the list. None.
Andrew, are we still friends?
He ain't talking to you.
You're teetering. You're going like, eh.
So what's your number 1 match of the year, man?
Oh, I almost could literally just go
You ready to go outside?
all 3 of the FTR matches with the Briscoes, but I won't do that.
You have to include somebody with Roman. You have to acknowledge him.
Only time
list.
Only time I have ever acknowledged the tribal chief was when I was in the same room as him. I was afraid he was going to hurt me.
Is that the kind? Are you?
We're not talking about XIO.
Is Roman your Von Wagner?
No, not really. My Von Wagner's Doink the Clown. Because I don't like clowns.
Fair.
Okay, and then but if I'm picking one of the FTR Briscoe matches, I get tossed between the second and the dog collar. I'm probably going to go with the dog collar just because of recency bias. And it was literally an incredible match. And the honorable mention to the match I mentioned earlier, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Josh Alexander, which I've already sent both of you links to.
Good deal.
So, female wrestler. No, Scott needs to tell. Scott needs.
No,
he did.
I said Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell.
Jump back up to female wrestler of the year. My top 3: Bailey at 3, Mandy Rose at 2. And I'm going to say this, and here's a disclaimer before I say this. I battled with this choice for the female wrestler of the year since we decided to do this.
This was the hardest one.
I don't like this person, but
I already know who you're gonna say.
Bianca Belair is the female wrestler of the year. And I can't stand her. I don't like the gimmick. She needs to cut that ponytail. You know, the gimmick doesn't. I just don't like her. But her stuff in ring is tremendous. She's an amazing athlete. I just don't like her.
She's the fastest, the strongest, the quickest, whatever you want to say.
The EST of WWE.
I mean, yeah. But Mandy Rose, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan.
And it's just funny because Bianca said this at one of the WrestleManias that she was in. She said she puts the EST in WrestleMania. Is what she said.
Okay, so what's your top 3?
3 is Mandy Rose, 2 is Becky Lynch, and 1 is Bayley.
Put Bayley at 1. All right, B-roll, you're up.
All right. You all are gonna love I only have 2, and I'm not even really gonna rank them. I let my opinions get in the way too much, I guess. But I'm gonna go with for WWE, I will go with Becky Lynch. For AEW, I'm going with Jade Cargill.
Jade's another one of those that she is a better version of Bianca Belair. I mean,
and I do agree with you. Bianca Belair should be on there, but like you, I just don't really care for her. So
yeah. All right, broski.
Becky Lynch and Britt Baker.
Okay.
I would have put Bayley on there, but poor booking didn't help her with damage control, so I had to keep her off the list.
I hear you.
Just messing.
Now,
I like Becky Lynch and Britt Baker.
Just know for the Huge Pop Wrestling Moment of the Year.
Oh, Jesus.
My number 1. Well, it's the tie at number 1, and one of these will contradict a lot of shit that I've said. It's a hot take.
Hot takey.
Number 3 for me is MJF's "Fire Me, You Fucking Mark" promo. That is my number 3. I popped, and I must have watched that promo from start to finish about 50 times because it's entertaining, and it was a holy shit moment. Like, did he said that on TV? What? I mean, that's my number 3.
My number 3, I'm just going to go with my 3, 2, and 1 right now. Number 3, Liv when she cashes in the same night on Ronda and ends up winning the title. Everybody had to have been so glad that she actually won a big title in her career. She really deserved it. Number 2, Bray Wyatt's return at Extreme Rules.
Survivor Series, wasn't it?
No, Extreme Rules.
That was Extreme Rules, yeah. Okay.
With the whole white rabbit. It was like, who could it be? And then number 1 is Cody's return. That's one that me and him both got up off of our lazy ass bums, got up and started basically singing Cody Rhodes' theme.
Yeah, it was. My number 2 is Bayley's SummerSlam return. And then 1A, I'll give you guys, or the first of the 2 is Cody's return. My second one will be after you guys go.
Go B-roll, because he's waiting for me. So go.
Yeah. I've only got one, and this is the moment of the year. Cody Rhodes' return at Mania. I mean, it meant so much for him personally. It meant so much for the business. The fact that he had the nightmare gimmick still was acknowledgement to him and what he had done outside, and it even is a tip of the cap to AEW as well. In my opinion.
I got two, maybe three, but I'm gonna just go. I agree with Matt that Fire Me, that promo, MJF. We're going to talk about Fire. That was fire. He was allowed to do that on TV with no problem. Just saying. I thought one of the huge moments of it was, and it was probably one of the best matches, was the Brock Lesnar range where he brought the tractor down and he lifted the ring up. That place was a disaster afterwards. That was incredible to me. So that was my top. And I got another one, but I'm going to wait for Matt to share his last one.
My hot take. My number 1 moment of the year, because it had everybody talking. The Punk media scrum. Possibly the biggest moment of the year. I'm not, hold on. No, just hear me out. The situation at hand was garbage. But you can't sit here and tell me that not every person on TikTok, anybody around social media that knows any or that watches wrestling or anything, we were all talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. It was the holy shit moment of the year. Did he just say that? Did he just really do that? Did the Young Bucks really go in there and beat the shit out of him? What? What's going on? It was the moment of the year. It was, I mean, we all have our own opinions on it. We all have our very different of opinions on it.
Yep.
And that's why I put it as like tied with Cody's return. It might not be the most glamorous or the most positive, but it was the oh my God moment of the year.
I would agree with you, Matt. And it was, like Matt said it, everybody was talking. Matt and I have gotten several big debates about it. We don't see eye to eye on it. I think that, but you're right, Matt. If that right there, we talked about that for months.
Mm-hmm.
Months. And Matt and I were like, let's not even bring it up anymore, because we would go in within 30-minute increments of debate. Whether that was a shoot, a work, or whatever the hell it was, it had people talking, and I agree with Matt. That deserves. That for me was the huge pop, the HP of the year, the huge pop of the year. That thing, everybody was talking about it. Everybody.
I mean, people who are just casual, don't watch wrestling very often, were talking about it. And to me, I mean, it sucks that we weren't talking about MJF's return, but instead we were talking about CM Punk.
Yeah.
Talking about Colt Cabana's mom.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it sucks, but it happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have very mixed feelings about the whole situation. Because for me, it kind of put a damper on that whole going to All Out experience, because obviously we get back to the hotel room, we're watching the scrum, we see him come up, all this crap happens, and we wake up the next morning and we hear all the reports about what happened. So, I mean, my friend XLJ said it best. He said, we woke up in a different wrestling world than the one we went to sleep in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still a CM Punk guy, so.
Well, okay. I enjoy CM Punk. I really do. That whole situation, and we won't get into it, but
right.
I'm not a CM Punk hater by any means. The whole situation was garbage. But like I said, the only reason it's moment of the year because it had everyone talking. It put more eyes on the business than.
Yeah. And honestly, it's one of the reasons I wore this shirt today, though. I haven't worn a Punk shirt in a while, but I mean, it's just crazy how fast wrestling moves, because this dog collar match with him and MJF was incredible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any of our matches of the year.
Right. Well, guys, I would hate to cut this short, but I don't know if anybody realized, Matt does what I do. I care for 9 foster kids, B-roll, so they're begging to go outside. So
I can relate, brother. I can relate.
My life, man. That's why. And I'd say this, Matt's such a great, I love him as a brother. He's a great guy. He gives me a lot of shit. I love that little boy there, Andrew. I love them to death. We go back and forth. We debate about Indiana basketball years ago. So we go back. That's what I love. That's why I love doing our podcast with each other. And there's times we do this. We're casual at this, guys, and it's because sometimes our life doesn't allow us to do 2 shows a week. I mean, so
yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah. A quick plug before we get off here. B-Roll's got Learning the Ropes on Sundays from 9 until 11.
Yes.
And their show on Sunday will have a special guest.
The handsome devil himself.
Matt. What time is this? Because I can't get him to go nighttime.
Well, I got clearance from the boss.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So if we're gonna do plugs, HP Podcast Wrestling Podcast has a live interview tonight on the Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook channel with indie wrestler Zach Mosley, the $1 Million Mullet. He's known as, we call him Tiger King here down in Florida. He wrestles in Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee. So if you are not doing anything, come and check it out. The interview tonight, it's gonna be good.
Before we hop off, I want to hear this out of you, Uncle Scott, and you, Mr. B-Roll. I want to hear you guys say Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time.
No. We don't talk like that around here. David Arquette is the greatest WCW champion of all time.
Well,
I will acknowledge him, but when I say he wasn't the #1 wrestler of the year, it's because you cannot
nightmare. I said that.
You cannot give the top wrestler of the year to a guy that doesn't show up except for pay-per-views and maybe to do a promo at the end of the night. You can't. You have to give it to Seth Rollins. And I hate saying that. I would love to flip it to the Roman Reigns to the top, but Seth Rollins is always there. He's carried the company. That's why I say Seth Rollins. So you will not get me to put him in the list. Sorry.
I just need you to tell me that David Arquette's the greatest WCW champion of all time. That's all I need.
Might be right.
I'll say this. I will not acknowledge him, but I'll also give you this. David Arquette was at one time a WCW champion. That did happen. It was real.
The Vince Russo era.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
It's only $60 for a Vince Russo cameo.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Great way to end the show.
Nightmare says David Arquette belongs in a Pizza Hut commercial.
Thanks, guys.
With Nick Gage.
With Logan Paul.
Oh.
Oh.